Angeles holds a very significant place in the history of the LGBTQ movement. Besides being the site of the first permitted Pride Parade in 1970, the community here was among the first to openly champion LGBTQ civil rights. In fact, many historians say the modern Pride movement actually began 20 years before the first Pride Parade at a home in Silver Lake, not far from downtown Los Angeles. It was called the Mattachine Society, formed in 1950 by famed gay rights and political activist Harry Hay. The men in the secret society met at Hay's residence on Cove Avenue in Silver Lake. It was located near the historic site now known as the Mattachine Steps. Their goal was to offer support and bring about social justice for the gay community.
So they met in these secret affinity groups, and they had, everything was clandestine. And they had secret names. But as they started coming out to each other, it's like they started getting a sense of themselves.
The Mattachine Society grew. Chapters sprung up around the nation. Soon afterwards, some of these same activists formed a separate organization called One Incorporated.
When you would speak to somebody in a public setting that you wanted to know if they were gay or not, you would say, "Are you one?"
But One is perhaps best known for its magazine. In 1953, One became America's first widely circulated pro-gay publication.
Extremely socially isolated life to live. And so when One came, it was like a beacon of light to a lot of people who said, for instance, "Oh my God, I thought I was alone until I read your magazine. And then once I read it, I knew that there were other people like me." And it was, it was like a light in the darkness. It was, for a lot of people, it was transformational.
Each month, hundreds of letters poured into the editors. Readers sought advice, information, and a sense of belonging. Before long, the Los Angeles postmaster refused to deliver One magazine on grounds of obscenity. One Incorporated filed a First Amendment lawsuit. In 1958, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of One Incorporated. A social revolution was about to begin. By the 1960s, more and more Americans started to demand their civil rights. And in 1966, a gay rights organization called Pride was formed by activist Morris Kite. The group encouraged LA's LGBTQ community to speak out. A turning point came after an incident at the now famous Black Cat Tavern, a gay bar in Silver Lake. An undercover raid had been planned at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve going into 1967.
They ultimately arrested 14 patrons for assault and public lewdness. And so Pride, the organization, brought individuals together, and there was a civil demonstration of more than 200 individuals in February of 1967.
Alexei Romanov, who is now 83 years old, remembers it well.
We were being picked on for no reason at all, just because of our sexuality. At least I got a backbone. And I was willing to get out there and do what I had to do. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we're not going to take it anymore.
1970 proved to be a pivotal year. Activists held gay-ins in Griffith Park, educating and promoting activism. In June of 1970, Reverend Troy Perry, then pastor of the Metropolitan Community Church, helped organize the first permitted gay pride parade in the U.S.
On Monday, we went back into court. On Friday, we were ordered before a judge. The judge heard us, he heard the other side, and he said, "I'm going to fine for the GLBTQ group." He said, "They're citizens of this city. They don't have to put up bonds."
Another important event also took place in the fall of 1970 at the Biltmore Hotel. The American Psychiatric Association was just about to show a film on electroshock aversion therapy to reverse same-sex attraction.
We rushed the stage, we took it over. There were about 40, 50 of us. 2/3 gay men, 1/3 lesbian.
Activists then met with the association, and 3 years later, homosexuality was removed from their list of mental illnesses. Since the early days of activism, the LGBTQ community in Los Angeles has continued to set an example around the nation. Since then, the LA Pride Parade has become part of the cultural fabric of Los Angeles, attracting thousands of spectators each year and inspiring LGBT communities around the world.
It's a big space where we get to all be together and feel some sort of brave, safe space to be who we are, whoever that is, however you identify, whatever your gender identity, whomever you love.
I've been grand marshals at gay pride parades. I've spoken at gay pride events worldwide. It's amazing how rapidly it's grown around the world.
Because of his lifelong activism, Reverend Perry has been invited to the White House on 5 occasions. Life is very different for Alexei Romanov since the Black Cat Tavern protest days. After years of waiting, Alexei and his husband, David, were also able to marry. And Alexei is always delighted to show visitors his wedding band. Alexei continues to speak out whenever possible. Another sign of progress is the lead the City of Los Angeles and other entities have taken to designate a number of locations associated with the LGBTQ movement as historic sites.
While New York often gets the credit for starting that type of activism, Los Angeles has been in the forefront of this civil rights movement for decades.
One magazine is no longer in print, but its archives at the University of Southern California hold the world's largest collection of LGBTQ photos and artifacts. In spite of the progress, though, advocates say there is still much more to be done, even now in the 21st century.
We still have to tackle housing rights. We still have to work on rights for youth and education. So there's still a lot of work to be done.
But many are encouraged by the recent Supreme Court ruling that protects gay and transgender people from workplace discrimination. It is being called the most important court ruling for the LGBTQ community since the legalization of same-sex marriage. The question now is, what progress will the next decade bring?